Alright, I wanted to do this video when Black Widow came out, but that ain't coming out anytime soon, so strapped on my Hulk hat, and we're going to do all the Marvel movies, worst to best. My list is a little bit different. There's 23 Marvel movies. Mine's got 25 on there, so which two did I throw in that nobody else threw in? You gotta be original, you gotta be a contrarian here. Gotta get them hits that way. Anyway, here we go. Number 25, no shocker to most people. Most people don't like this movie. Captain Marvel. Brie Larson sucks, let's be honest. You ain't no Gal Gadot. And just, oh, this is big feminist movie, this and that. Say, excuse me, did we all forget Mila Jovovich? Did we all forget Kate Beckinsale? Excuse me, alright? What about Red Sonja back in the 80s? I love that movie. Strangely enough, that movie probably cost less than Masters of the Universe, but it looked a lot more like a Masters of the Universe movie, and I know they did Masters of the Universe kind of in modern day to save on money, but look at that movie. Anyway, off the topic right there. Captain Marvel, she ain't nothing but, they gave her that name to keep the trademark away from Shazam over there in DC. Don't like the character, never liked the character. But, strangely enough, the little girl in the movie, Monica Rambeau, I got like one Avengers comic book with her in there, and is where Captain America nominates her to be leader of the Avengers, and she's like, I don't know. She goes like everybody to get advice. I like that character better, but since this took place in the past, I don't know what the hell they did. All this, Samuel L. Jackson was good. I mean, at worst, this movie 2.25 stars. So there's really not much separating the worst movies, the best movies. The best movies are like 3.5 stars, 4 stars. The worst movies only 2.25. Most of them are like 2 3/4 stars to, 3-star movies. So not a lot of bad Marvel movies. This is the only one I think is an out-and-out stinker. I haven't seen it on cable yet. Every time every Marvel movie's on cable, I watch them anyway. So I'll watch this when it comes on. She was cool though in what was that movie? 21 Jump Street. I liked her in that. Everything I've seen her in since, I can't stand her. Alright, number 24. We got enough off of that. This is everybody else's at the bottom of the list. But not the one you're thinking of. I'm going with Thor 1 at 24. Not Dark World. Most people put Dark World at the bottom. Thor 1, it's okay. It was on USA or whatever, Paramount Network or something not too long ago. I watched it. I'm like, yeah, this is alright. It's better than I kind of thought it was. But it's nothing great. Oh, by the way, here's all my Marvel figs right here, because it's also like a toy channel. Got my Toy Biz. We got some Secret Wars figures here too. I like Thor when he's on like, regular Earth. And when he's hanging out with the two broke girls girl and Natalie Portman, stuff like that. But I don't know. I didn't care at all about like Thor, whatever, Asgard. I didn't like that. All right, number 23. Movie nobody counts, but if you think about it, this is where the Marvel Universe actually began. I don't collect the DVDs. I only got 2 actual Marvel Universe DVDs because all these movies are on cable like 1,000 times, so there's no need to buy them. I'm going with Hulk. Ang Lee's Hulk. What are you saying? How is that possible? This came out before Iron Man. It's actually, Incredible Hulk is kind of like a semi-reboot, soft reboot of this movie. Where does he end up? Where's Bruce Banner end up at the end of this movie? South America. Where does he start in the beginning of Incredible Hulk? South America. There's nothing really negates, other than different actors, the events that happened in this movie. It's the only other DVD I bought too. In this movie. So, we're going to count it. Marvel don't count it. We're going to count it. I'm counting that. That's number 23. So, now I'm doing Thor Dark World. That's going to be number 22. When I saw that in the theater, I was like, felt like, you know, it was like a chore to go see some movies. Like, I have to see every Marvel movie. Got to see them opening weekend. I waited this one. I saw this one on a Sunday. I always see them all on Friday, or at best, like Thursday night late showings. That ain't gonna happen no more. When are we ever gonna see another movie in a theater? I don't know. It was pretty good, or well, I wouldn't say pretty good. It just wasn't memorable. I thought it was more fun than the first one. Chris Hemsworth's kind of finding more of his footing and stuff after. Was this before or after? I think this was after Avengers. The more he plays Thor, the better he gets at it. And it kind of added some more relevance because then when you go back in Endgame, they go walking around in this movie, so it's like, oh, I gotta watch it again because I forgot what the hell they were talking about. So, where are we now? We're at 21. Now we're going to the second Marvel movie ever. Like I said, I don't buy the DVDs. This one I had to get because the special features had a deleted scene of Hulk walking around out in the snow or whatever. There was an avalanche, and you could see little microscopic Captain America in the avalanche in the snow. So I was like, I had to buy that to watch like 2 seconds of film, and it's irrelevant. But Edward Norton was it? But Mark Ruffalo, let's be honest, he's way better. And whatever happened to Abomination? I know, I looked it up online. He's like, they put him in some jail, and I think they referenced it on S.H.I.E.L.D. or something, but are we ever going to get to see Abomination ever again? Probably not. Kind of started the Iron Man one, and this kind of started the trend of similar villains, and then they're one and done. So, here we go. Where were we? We did Dark World. Number 20, Ant-Man 2. This was on... What was it, TNT the other day? I watched it again. I like it. But after I went and saw it in the theater, you just kind of forget about it, other than the one big relevant part was the ending where he's down in the quantum realm. Other than that, it was alright. It's good. Not much more to say about it at 20. Alright, 19, kind of controversial. I put it this low. But bear with me. I know the cultural significance of this. What Marvel movie's culturally significant? I'm going to say Black Panther is at number 19. But let's be honest, the ending sucked. Alright, here we go. I said this before. You got one and done villain. Who's similar to the good guy, but like the evil version of him. The end fight in this movie sucked. It was like the worst, like, PlayStation. I'm going to say PlayStation 2. That's what you say. Something bad CGI is PlayStation 2. I'm going to give it PlayStation 3 graphics. Did not look real at all. And, what was it? Killmonger was kind of right. Where was Wakanda during, like, the Civil War and World War II and stuff? They could have ended everything. There's a big plot hole they mentioned in the movie. So, what do they do at the end? They open a community center in Oakland. Thank you. 30 million people died, whatever. But Chadwick Boseman, Wakanda Forever. We love the guy. I liked him better. Civil War he was great in that. I loved it at the end of Endgame where everybody rolls up like Wakanda, stuff like that. But let's be honest, that ending was trash. That was the worst CGI. I saw a video on CGI artists who criticized other CGI artists, and they said it sucked because both characters were wearing black and they were in a tunnel that was dark, and they just couldn't get lighting right to make anything look real. But it's like they couldn't get the game, like what was it, Bruce Lee Game of Death, stuff like that, Enter the Dragon. They couldn't have like two stuntmen, karate stuntmen do a really good fight instead, and then we get CGI garbage. Bad. All right, 18. I would have put this at the bottom of the list before Infinity War, but Doctor Strange, in retrospect, I like this movie a lot better because Doctor Strange is like, who cares about Doctor Strange? But Infinity War, he was the man, so I had to go back and watch Doctor Strange, and it's got more relevant. Even though the bad guy was like another generic, crappy, one and done Marvel villain, and the end was just like some weird psychedelic CGI stuff. I ended up liking it more, and Rachel McAdams, I love her, so it's out of the bottom of the list just because Rachel McAdams. But other than this is just like another rehash of Iron Man. The whole Iron Man's gonna be at the top of the list. These other ones who copy the blueprint, they're on the bottom of the list. But even though 18 out of like 25 movies, that's not so bad. Number 17. A lot of people don't like this one. I saw this in the theater. My interest in Marvel movies was starting to wane at this point. It picked up again, but at this point I was like, starting to feel like a chore going to these things. Age of Ultron. I don't know why I don't like it. I don't know why everybody else don't like it. It's just not that good. It doesn't have yeah, I guess it does sort of have a memorable plot, but like the action scenes just kind of don't stick with you. Something about it. And basically, like, Tony Stark just kind of screws up. Yeah, we make a robot and ends up killing tons of people and wrecking Sokovia. What was it? Sokovia? You know, they kind of mention that what happens in the Civil War after, but extremely irresponsible, and you kind of can't really root for anybody in this. It's like, wow, this is their fault. The Avengers kind of wrecked society with this stuff for a bit. 16. Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Yeah, it's just not as good as part 1. There's a lot of like good stuff in the movie. I forget his name. Yondu. Got the mohawk thing. I like him. Him turning face with Star-Lord. No, I'm your daddy. Not Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell was great in it too. That was one of the other times they did like the de-aging, and that looked really cool. They made him look like I'm not gonna say the Escape from New York. I'm gonna say he seems like old times Kurt Russell. Yeah, go look that movie up. Him and Robin Williams. That was a great movie. 15. A lot of people put this higher. I'm not putting this higher. Villain sucked. A lot of the Marvel villains aren't that good. Baron Zemo sucked. Civil War 3. Captain America Part 3. Plot somewhat similar to Batman vs. Superman. I'm going to put Batman vs. Superman Extended Edition number 1 in DC. This one I'm putting in the middle of the pack. I thought this movie was kind of boring. Yet I watch it every time it's on TBS and all that stuff. Or TNT or Paramount and all that junk. But that doesn't mean anything because I'm bored and I watch lots of TV. So I do like the scene, another de-aging thing in the beginning where they make Robert Downey Jr. look like, I'm not going to say Too Low for Zero. I'm going to say he looks like himself in Weird Science. That's the first thing I thought, Weird Science. But what else did I want to say about this one? Oh yeah, where best line in the movie is where Captain America is trying to talk Iron Man out of killing Winter Soldier. He's like, he killed my mom. Didn't matter. Game is on. Captain America kind of can't really, like, he makes up for it in the next movie, in Infinity War, and in Endgame. Captain America, I can see where Iron Man's coming from. He wanted to bust some heads, killing his parents and stuff. Yeah, it don't matter. It don't matter if he's your boy. Don't matter if he's being redeemed. Iron Man gotta kill that guy. Baron Zemo sucks. Sorry. 14. A little low, but we're at kind of like the middle of the list. So, Spider-Man Far From Home. I don't think it was as good as Homecoming, but that's on like Encore and Stars all the time, so I watch that too. But Tom Holland's a better actor, but the Tobey Maguire movies were better. I'll say that. The Tobey Maguire movies were closer to the comic book, but yet this is made by Marvel, but this one strayed way far away. I don't get like they're good movies, but I don't get like the comic book stuff of it. it doesn't really suck me in so much as like the Sam Raimi ones. But he's coming back to do the next Doctor Strange movie, and everybody's saying Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, they're coming back. They're going to do multiverse stuff like that. So I'm hyped up about that. And then this Mysterio is nothing really like the. Of course they had to update him, but he's nothing like comic book was. They always ruin the Spider-Man villains. I feel, other than Green Goblin, I liked him. Dr. Octopus, everybody likes Spider-Man too. No, wrong. Dr. Octopus. He does not read poetry to his wife. He's just a dick. Always was a dick. He's just born that way. He's just an asshole. That's why I like Dr. Octopus. Superior Spider-Man. Think about it. So we'll get off of that. People put this one low. I'm putting the next two together. We can kind of flip-flop them. I'm going to say number 13, Iron Man 3. I'm going number 12, Iron Man 2. It's Iron Man. Even the bad ones are good. Seriously, even though they jobbed out the Mandarin in Iron Man 3, I mean, it was funny. But and then Iron Man 2, Mickey Rourke, I like this character. He's got the bird and all that stuff, and Justin Hammer. When are we ever getting him again? I like the Iron Man movies, part 2 and 3. I don't love 3, but I also am the guy who doesn't hate part 2. I'll bring that one down, 3 down. I'll lift Iron Man 2 up. And come on, it's Iron Man. He's the best character in Marvel's by like a mile. Yeah, Captain America. Come on, it's Tony Stark. He started this thing. So where are we going? Number 11. I laughed out loud in the theater with this one. I actually didn't see this until it's probably the latest I saw a Marvel movie. I saw it on the Wednesday of that week. I think I tied that with Doctor Strange for the latest I saw it. Opening week, I saw it on Wednesday because I was going with some friends and was like, oh, I can't go like this. I always go on the first day. What are you doing? You're killing me. But I waited. Iron Man or Ant-Man. Paul Rudd, National Treasure. Come on, this is. Yeah, I put like Ant-Man 2 down there, but him and his buddies, they were funny. T.I. is hilarious. The fight with the Thomas the Tank Engine at the end, that was great, although we got another one and done villain. Again. Who is exactly like the main character. He steals the technology, he creates another suit just like that. But then they had the Michael Douglas de-aging. I fall for it every time. I love that stuff. They made him look like, I ain't gonna say Wall Street. I'm gonna go War of the Roses he looked like. How about that? Alright. 10. Maybe a little higher, maybe a little lower, but we are in the top third here. So, Ragnarok. Thor's best movie. Except when you hit the other Avengers movies, I guess. But Ragnarok was great. Ragnarok was funny. Thor movies I go and see on Sundays. This is one of the late ones I saw. It was weird. I remember going to the movie theater. I went right after work on a Sunday, and I didn't have any of my friends to go with me, so I sat like one open seat, and this one dude, he looks all like heavy metal stuff like that, which is cool. I'm metal, but he's sitting there with his girlfriend. She looked like a goth chick. He's like, "Oh, sorry, dude. Sometimes I make noises for the movie. I'm just so hyped for this." He's wearing his Marvel shirts and stuff like that. And in the middle of the movie, he's like, "Vroom, vroom." It was like he was getting into it. He was getting like some weird death grunts going on. I thought that was hilarious. But Jeff Goldblum's in it, and I didn't notice this. The girl who played Valkyrie was the chick from the Creed movies. I didn't realize that. That was even cool. I did not realize that until I saw Men in Black Part whatever, where her and Thor were in it together. So she's in tons of stuff. I like that chick. I can't remember her name. Number 9. Now I'm going Homecoming because my boy Michael Keaton's in it. You know, I got half this damn channel is me talking about Batman 1989. Michael Keaton's in it. This is where some other movies are going to tie in. Michael Keaton played Vulture. Vulture was in the Morbius trailer. So keep that in mind. Those movies are connected. Sony. Homecoming was good. That was like one of the best turns ever, too. So he's not one and done. We're going to get more Vulture. and he stole like Iron Man's technology. Not like the comic book. So this is where like Spider-Man strayed. But it was a good Spider-Man movie. I'm actually gonna say it's probably the third best Spider-Man movie because I liked Spider-Man. First Sam Raimi one. I don't know. I don't want to go through that list. We'll do that. Maybe we'll do that list another time. All right. Since I kind of mentioned the Vulture too early, and then if Morbius is part of the universe, and they even had in the Morbius trailer Spider-Man poster in the background. Here's one of my ones that shouldn't be on the list, but it is on the list. Number 8, my boy Tom Hardy. I'm going Venom. Venom. They actually filmed Tom Holland's scene to go in there, but then Marvel, Kevin Feige's like, no, not yet. I don't know, we got some business to work out. We got some papers to sign. Stuff like that. But I love Venom. Tom Hardy's one of my favorite actors. He was funny. Oh yeah, and boom, where is it? My custom action figure of Venom. Look at that. He's awesome. Look at the abs on that. I still got to paint the symbol on him. I saw a video. A guy learned how to draw it and paint it and do custom Venom action figures. I might use that guy's advice and paint this figure up like that. But it was funny. I saw this movie. Oh my God! I went the day it came out. I worked late that night. I think I got home at like 9 o'clock or whatever, 9:30, and I kind of really wish I went to the movies. It was playing in Providence. I live on Cape Cod. You know what? It was 12 o'clock showing. I think it was like a 12:30 one. I went the middle of the night. That was so fun. There's like 4 or 5 other weirdos in the theater that night. Ain't nobody to go with me to the theater that night, so I went by myself. It was freaking fun. I suggest going to the movies in the middle of the night. If you can, and if they ever open again. But that was like, it added to the ambiance because it was like a slow, creepy beginning when they're in outer space, stuff like that. It works as like a late night horror movie. That's why it was just a fun time. It was a fun time going to that theater that late. Figured Tom Hardy like read the script, is like, oh, this isn't that good, but I can just get weird all over it, and he did, and that's why I love the movie. He just like the scene where him eating the live lobsters in the tank in the restaurant. That was funny. Him going back and forth because he also did the voice of Venom too, and I like that. Here's another one that doesn't count. I remember at the time, correct me if I'm wrong, Punisher Warzone came out after Iron Man, after Hulk. I think it came out like in the fall that year. They were kind of pushing it as it was, even though it was by Lionsgate, but Iron Man was Paramount, Hulk was Universal. That movie was part of the Marvel Universe. Then it bombed, and then nobody ever mentioned it ever again. So if that was a hit, were they going to keep that in there? Kevin Feige had nothing to do with it. But misremembered memory? Well, the Netflix shows counted, but then they don't count. So if they did count at one time, this Punisher movie, no. Especially the Thomas Jane one, no. But now they're not connected either, because whatever, because they're not part of the Disney Plus shows, so only Disney Plus shows are going to count. What I'm trying to say is, even Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. it counted, but now it doesn't count. But what I'm trying to say is stuff did count, sort of count back then in the beginning, but now they don't count now. This list should probably a little bit bigger. Alright, number 7. I'm going Winter Soldier. Captain America, Winter Soldier. Captain America 2, Winter Soldier. Why would they even call Captain America Civil War Part 3? That's Avengers Part 4? 3? I forget. Yeah, it just like opened up Captain America's world even bigger. I liked it. Where I started reading comic books again, and Captain America specifically is where I jumped in with the Winter Soldier storyline. So I got that whole run of him, Captain America turning him, Captain America dying in Civil War, coming back, all that stuff. Bucky takes over. I got that whole run, so the movie was almost nothing like it that much. They took like, maybe like 2.5 issues worth of like that 40 issue chunk and made like the extreme like small notes of it, but That's another thing. People, oh, this comic book isn't faithful. The Marvel movies aren't very faithful at all. You get like the tone, but you don't get like story beat for beat. So, number 7. Number 6 is Avengers Part 1. Avengers Part 1. That was great. I remember how it was like, oh my god, this movie is going to be the biggest thing of all time. Everybody I work with, after work, Thursday night, we all went to like the 10 o'clock show and boom, we had a gang. That was great. That was fun. I remember we saw it in 3D and they had that shot of, it was Loki and Scarlett Johansson, and then it was in 3D, and she's standing there talking to Loki while he's behind the glass. You can see her butt. And I was like, oh, turn to my friend. I was like, thank God for 3D movies. Scarlett, I love you. You're my favorite chick ever. So yeah, that was my big takeaway from that. Scarlett Johansson's butt. And everybody loved the scene where Hulk beats up Loki. He's like, puny god. Number 6 is kind of the one that started it. Number 5, Guardians of the Galaxy. And I wasn't even into Parks and Recreations yet. That was before I saw every episode. So Chris Pratt kind of made me... I had to go back and watch that because of Chris Pratt. And I was like, Andy Dalton? What's his last name? Dalton? I forget. Andy is now Star-Lord. Then you look back at all these other movies. Oh, he was in this movie. He was in that movie. This is the first time Chris Pratt was awesome. He should play Indiana Jones. We all know that. Guardians of the Galaxy. Well, boy, Batista's in there. I'm a big wrestling fan. All this stuff. I liked it so much. It was like a revolutionary movie when it came out. It was like, all right, we're going to take comic book absolutely nobody reads. Nobody has like nostalgia for. The only thing I remember about Guardians of the Galaxy, I remember when the first issue came out in like Marvel Age magazine. I saw the promo for it. I always remember the cover of it, but it's like, that's one of those comic books I never read. Maybe I should have, although that version, like 1990 version, was not even represented in this. So let's move ahead. Number 4, Captain America: First Avenger, made by, oh god, I'm slipping, forgetting the guy's name. He's the director of The Rocketeer. Oh my god. This was so much like The Rocketeer. I love that movie. Everybody should watch The Rocketeer 100 times. Captain America: First Avenger. Great movie. You even got to see one of my favorite Marvel characters ever, the original Human Torch. Not Johnny Storm Human Torch, Jim Hammond Human Torch. He's in the background, a little Easter egg. I lost my shit when I saw that. You don't even believe. But are we ever going to get Namor? Are we ever going to get like the old school stuff like that? We're not going to get any more 40s characters probably. Nobody cares. But I do. I want to see Captain America, Namor, Human Torch. They got to make a Human Torch versus Namor movie. But get to see the beginning of Captain America, all like that. Captain America. I don't know like how in the beginning of the movie, did they put Chris Evans' head on a skinny guy, or did they take Chris Evans and CGI him skinny? Whatever. So number 3, it's got to be Iron Man number 1. Started it off. Yeah, every Origins Marvel movie is just like this. They set up, like I already said, with the one and done villain who's exactly like the main character but evil. This is the one that did it the best. Seriously. We would have liked to see more Ironmonger, but, you know, Jeff Bridges is busy. He's got stuff to do. He's not going to come back. I read that whole comic book run, too, of Jebediah Stane, too. Goes on from, like, issue, I don't know, around, like, 220-ish, or 120-ish to about, I think their big showdown's, like, issue 200. I got a lot of issues in between like that story. So they did kind of a good job. When I said they don't really follow the storyline too well, they did a really good condensed version of into about a half hour of the movie at the end, so that was good. So here's the big one. We get the Infinity War saga at 1 and 2. This was nothing like the comic book at all. I bought the comic book, which is a really quick read. I didn't have like any of like the offshoot issues, stuff like that, but I bought the paperback. And it was nothing like that at all. So, but I'm gonna go on Endgame number 2. So that means Infinity War is number 1. One big movie anyway. But the ending of Infinity War when I first saw it was far more shocking. I'm going with shock value at number 1, even though number 2 has the big awesome battle at the end. So there's so much good stuff in this. Well, thank God I stuck with all of them from going to see them every week. I remember one guy where he goes, wouldn't it be cool to have just seen every Marvel movie in a row? I was like, I have. I go to the movies like every week when they were open. Howard the Duck was in this, so does that make the original Howard the Duck, does that make that canon? Is that a different version? We don't know. If I did put Howard the Duck in there, I love that. It was one of my favorite 80s movies ever. That's the top 10 for me. I'm putting it... If I put Howard the Duck in here, I'm putting it like somewhere like 7. Let's see, because Infinity War, Spider-Man died at the end. He turned into dust. That was like... But at the end of Endgame, Tony Stark dies. But he went out like such a boss, so... I don't know, I thought the deaths... You got one really sad death at the end of that. Well, you forgot Scarlett Johansson died in that too. But we already knew she had a movie coming out, which we still ain't seen. But everybody disappearing at the end of Infinity War, like, and it ended like, he won? That was more shocking than... I remember everybody I knew had like all these theories about this, and this, and then I remember one other guy I worked, he was talking about like the living tribunals and all this other junk. It was like, they ain't doing that. They ain't doing none of that. They're not going to add more characters that we ain't never seen. Like Adam Warlock and stuff, even though they teased him at the end of one of the Guardians movies. But, of course you got to go back in time for Endgame. Everybody kind of saw that coming after, like, Ant-Man was stuck in the quantum realm. I liked how Ant-Man came back, because Paul Rudd, national treasure, come on. But I will give the edge to Infinity War, just for the shock value. Endgame, once it started, you kind of knew where everything was going. So, that's America's ass right there. You know, that was a funny line. But there we go. We added in 2 movies that probably shouldn't be there. But I had to give a little bit of perspective on that because, you know, whatever. And I hope you liked it. This is normally a toy channel, and it's also a review rock stuff. So what I kind of put it together. Put my loves of comic books and making lists. And there we go. That's that. Subscribe, comment, whatever. I usually write back to most people, so if you liked it, give me a thumbs up. I need your validation. Alright, there's my list. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. If you don't leave like silly comments like that, like, ugh, this sucks. Leave your list. I want to read your list. I write back to most people. Those are the good comments. It's like, if you disagree with it, leave your list. And it's like, oh, well, I didn't like this bike. You should have put this like there because I like this one. Those are the fun comments, stuff like that. Subscribe. I'm not the most prolific video person, but, you know, whatever.